Have you ever been watching a show most likely based on real life and you see something you've never seen before and you wonder, people do that? Like eating snails or even female circumcision? Well, this topic is for you. My group members and I will take you through universality versus relativity in terms of cultural ethics, according to Martin and Nakayama, in intercultural communication in context. This topic is important because we will understand different perspectives we all have as we're exposed to different cultures.
Universality is basically the ethical argument that cultural differences are superficial and fundamental in notions of what is right and wrong are global. It's advocated for by philosophers such as Immanuel Kant and William S. Horswell, and it aims to draw a clearer and distinct line on what is right and what is wrong.
So, cultural relativism is a view that all beliefs, customs, and ethics are unique to the individual within their own social context. So, to put it simply, right and wrong are culture specific. There are six main arguments that cultural relativism make. One, different societies have different moral codes. There's no objective standard that can be used to judge one societal code as better than the other. The moral code of our own society has no special status. It's just one among many. There's no universal truth in ethics. That is, there are no moral truths that hold for all people at all times. The moral code of a society determines what is right within that society. So, if the moral code of a society says a certain action is right, then that action is right, at least within that society. It's mere arrogance for us to try judge the conduct of other people. We should adopt an attitude of tolerance towards the practices of other cultures. So viewing the world from a cultural relativist standpoint helps us avoid ethnocentrism and xenocentrism. And from our end, we'll use homosexuality as an example.
Structured as a debate on the universality camp, we have Salome and Loraine, and on the relativity side, we have Bashir and Clara. The floor is open.
Anyway, I'd like to go first. Clara talked about how we're going to bring in homosexuality, and I like to use LGBTQ as a whole movement. You see, the people who subscribe to, people who believe that that's right, you cannot come and try and force that opinion onto everybody. At the same time, we who believe that that's wrong, we cannot come and force our opinion that that's wrong onto you as a homosexual person. That's what relativism is all about. But if you want to subscribe to universality and say that that's the right way, then, and it's really hard to get a consensus among 7-point-something billion people in the world. Like, we all can't agree to the same thing. So the easier way and the right way to go about this is just let each society or each country decide their own laws for themselves. It also brings about democracy. But then if you try and come and impose and be like, oh, you have to accept LGBTQ people, well, I wouldn't agree with that.
So universalism is not about imposing to another culture. It's about providing a common ground between what's wrong and what's right. Clearly, we as people, we see when there is something bad and there is something good. This is inevitable. So for us to say based on that culture, it's like it's their own belief, no. And I think that most of the times conflict would be easily solved if people would come to a common understanding of what can be used to actually evaluate these cultural norms. And wait, I'm not finished. These cultural norms that we often see. And Clara, I think was Clara who mentioned, I think you said something of the sort that is impossible to establish a common ground, but I think it is. We have come to a common understanding, for example, in matters of law, we have come to an understanding. When you talk about international law, people follow those same rules based upon a common understanding. So for you guys to say that it's impossible to reach a common understanding, it's...
Hold up. Let me just interrupt with that part about me saying it's impossible. yes, there's something that we can all agree on. Like if you come and speak about murder, but then even you can talk about murder, someone can say in self-defense, I feel like I'm right. Like we'll all agree with that universally. Like everybody agrees to if you kill someone because they're about to kill you and you're defending yourself, then that's okay. Even in a court of law, you won't be convicted. But there's some specific aspects where we can never fully agree. Like you have a different belief to different to my belief. Probably I'll come from a religious background and say my religion does not allow this. I subscribe to my religion, so I follow my religion. And you come from a different religion. So trying to make those trying to have a common ground where both religions or all other religions agree to, that's going to be hard. But accepting each religion and their own views, that's what we are.
Based off what you said you're looking for a common ground for all these cultures and beliefs and everything. But looking at the world today, the common ground, the universal common ground is based off Western culture. That's not representative at all.
My point is on the basis of homosexuality and where you were saying that it's impossible on such matters to come to a common ground. And I think it's possible because, for example, the Pope, who's considered one of the hugest religious leaders of the Christian religion, which is very much against homosexuality, came forward in support of homosexual and transsexual people and helped them out. Yes, you can find it on his Instagram page. We'll put it on the description box. Yes, so I think it's possible, but it takes baby steps to reach there, but you can't knock it out as impossible, and you can't blame on the absence of that possibility on universality. It's just takes time. Yes.
And with that,
See, why I don't agree. I wouldn't agree with what you're saying is, as a Christian, I can't now come and impose my belief on you. What I'm trying to say is, I'm not saying homosexuality is wrong. All I'm saying is I don't agree with it. But if you want to be a homosexual, or if someone's a homosexual, that's up to you.
My example for using the Pope was he wasn't advocating that the Catholic Church has accepted homosexuality, but he was just saying he wants the violence against homosexual and transgender people to stop.
So in conclusion, as a group, what we decided is, see, these different ethic systems, they bring about tensions between like the two different groups, the relativists and the universalists. So there's a different approach that was brought about in the book, and the part where you're focusing on, the dialogical approach, which basically stresses the importance of dialogue in developing and maintaining relationships between individuals and communities in matters of ethics. So yeah, see you next time. See you, and we'll continue this talk in our next video.
give us like, subscribe, share.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Like literally. Bye, guys.
See you.